I was thinking this morning while driving in, when did it become okay for Black Americans, when and how? When and how did it become okay for Black Americans to stage false accusations against white people? They do things themselves and pretend that white people did it. And when they say it was done, like for example, the Duke Lacrosse case, way back when, Tawana Brawley case in New York, where she accused white men, a Black woman accused the white guys at the school there, Duke Lacrosse incident. We now have this thing with Jussie Smollett, and he's been arrested. He turned himself in this morning. He accused white people. And there are many, many examples of universities around the country where Black people were allowed to get in, and then they staged incidents that were not true and went out and said white people did it. Did it start way back with Tawana Brawley, and because white people and the rest of the country said okay to that? Or when did it start, and why is it okay to falsely accuse white people? And why is it that white people don't really rally and complain and stop this? Because it's only going to get worse. The Jussie Smollett thing is gotten bigger since Tawana Brawley falsely accused white police officers, and they lost their careers, they lost their everything. With the phony Al Sharpton jumping in, and white people say, oh, this is so sad. I really can't believe it. And found out that she lied, and no apology, no nothing. And it's just been going on and on and on for years now, up until this day with Jussie Smollett, the so-called empire actor, a radical homosexual, social justice warrior kind of a person. They are literally lying on white people. And it seems to be the thing to do in America today. No outcry. If white people did this to Black people, it would be all hell to pay. It's no wonder a lot of these young white men are becoming upright guys, because they're becoming fed up. They're becoming angry. Unfortunately, they're becoming angry. And because they're becoming angry, they're becoming radicalized in the same manner that Blacks have done. Blacks became angry. It was a false accusation. They were falsely deliberately lied to. And they'll become Black power and all that crap. See how much Black power that got them, right? And my concern is that young white men are becoming that way too, not all, of course. And they're going to come out fighting in the wrong way. And we're going to have a civil war. That's what the government wants, especially the Democrats, because they're going to lock you up. They're going to take away all your freedom. And they're going to say, see, I told you white people are racist. And they can make up lies about Jussie Smollett should not. When he first said this back in January, I believe, I said this boy was lying. I knew he was lying. I didn't believe it. I said I didn't believe it. Because it's a daily occurrence now where Black people could just lie on white people. They could set up a lie. And you have other so-called Black people jumping on board. Yeah, that's true. Jussie Smollett lied. Now he's been arrested, according to CNN. And by the way, what I realize is that the heart must change. And unless God changes your heart from evil to good, this will continue. It will continue. And I noticed that even with some people who pretend that they have changed, their hearts have changed, they haven't. And I know that only God can do it, and only He decides who you want to do it with, no matter how much Bible you read, how much quoting the Bible, deceiving yourself, pretending like you know the truth, how much hooping, hollering, how much anything. Only God can change it. And when it changes from hate to love. and not emotional love, not mama's love. Daddy's love. CNN is reported the Empire star Jussie Smollett, Jessica, same thing, he's a radical homosexual. Jussie Smollett was taken into custody around 5 a.m. Central Time, police said. And he's headed, he's having a 1:30 p.m. bail hearing today. Here's that soundbite.
Empire actor Jussie Smollett is now in custody in Chicago. He is facing a felony charge for allegedly filing a false police report claiming that two men attacked him in a hate crime last month.
We learned this just moments ago. Police sources tell CNN that Smollett paid the two men to orchestrate the attack. Chicago's police chief will brief reporters later this morning ahead of Smollett's first appearance in court this afternoon. Our Ryan Young is live in Chicago with all the breaking details. Ryan, now in custody.
Yeah, John, such a strange story. The last time we joined you at the 5 o'clock hour, who knew that this was going on? In fact, he turned himself in. I'm told from sources that he will have to talk to detectives first before being brought to this courthouse. What a strange ending to this entire story.
But not a surprising one. That's amazing. And what's so weird, when this boy, radical homosexual boy, came out, Smollett, and said it, you had other black people jumping on board. For example, that wicked witch, Camilla Harris. Did you hear her father's not happy with her about the smoking weed coming in Jamaica? But, and Camilla Harris and that girly man, Cory Booker, and the Rhino Republican, Scott, what's Scott's first name? Tim Scott. They introduced a bill, didn't know the facts, introduced a lynching bill or something in the House. Isn't that amazing? No facts at all, just because some radical black homosexual said it about white people. They just took it for granted. And this has been going on for years, and they've been lying. I guarantee you, no apologies. No apologies to white Americans. No apologies for jumping on this thing too soon, too early. No apologies. They're just going to wait for the next lying black person about white people. A staged event. Isn't that amazing? And white people don't do anything. No protest, no nothing, no speaking up. You don't hear one, I haven't heard one so-called white politician or white, whatever they're supposed to be doing, leader, denouncing this and saying this is happening too much to white people. I guarantee you, in spite of this boy, Smollett, turning himself in or being arrested, and all evidence is, most of the evidence is in now that he set it up, and it looked like he sent himself either a fake threatening letter. I guarantee you there are going to be blacks who are trying to justify it. Oh, this is a racist country. This is a racist society. This is expected from white people. Watch, evil, immoral black people will try to justify this evil act from Jussie Smollett. And the reason for it, because most, not all, but most black people are immoral. They are of their father, the devil. They are not of God. I don't care how they claim it, how much they go to church, how many Bibles they read, their actions of hating white people and hating others, because blacks just don't hate white people. They hate the Mexicans, and the Mexicans hate them. They hate everybody. Because you can't love one person and hate the earth. You either love all or you hate all. But watch, mark my word, you're going to hear black people coming out trying to justify, call wrong right and call right wrong, call evil good and good evil. It's typical now in the black community, all in the name of Jesus. Chicago prosecutor have charged Jussie Smollett with disorderly conduct for filing a false police report about the alleged racist attack. CBS is reporting that filing a false police report is a felony. Here's that soundbite.
Minutes ago, prosecutors announced they are charging the actor with falsely reporting he was attacked in Chicago last month. Now, filing a false police report is a felony and could mean up to 3 years in prison if he is convicted. Chicago police were presenting evidence against him to a grand jury earlier today, while Smollett has continued to deny staging the attack.
I'm pissed off. How do you not believe that?
This phony liar. He pissed off. Is he pissed off because he got caught? Those were the Nigerian brothers you just saw right after he said that this radical black homosexual said he was upset, pissed off. The Nigerian brothers who were allegedly hired by Smollett said he paid them $3,500 to stage the racist attack. Here's this soundbite.
The two brothers who claim the 36-year-old actor orchestrated the attack say he paid them $3,500 to do it. CBS News has learned the men were waiting outside the grand jury chambers earlier today, waiting to testify, but that testimony was later postponed. Now, Smollett told police he was attacked by two people who yelled racial and homophobic slurs, tied a rope around his neck, and poured a chemical substance on him. He also claimed one of the attackers said, quote, "This is MAGA country."
All lies. Ain't no white people down in Chicago hood. Decent black people are afraid to be down in there. No, ain't no white people down there. And yet, this radical black homosexual social justice warrior was able to say it, and not one white person protested. Meaning not one white politician, not one white so-called entertainer, not one white person said, I don't believe it. Now that it's being proven that this boy, radical black homosexual, set it up, it'll just go away quietly. It's been said that the Smollett guy was in L.A. I don't know if he lived here or he was just here visiting or what was going on, but he was arrested for drunk driving or something. And when he signed the little police report thing, he signed his brother's name and not his own name. It was been said. I haven't seen the proof of it yet, but I believe it. Surveillance footage was found of the brothers buying masks and a red hat. Here is the evidence that is being used against Smollett, at least a part of it.
This is exclusive video from our sister station in Chicago of Ola and Abel Usandaro buying masks and a red hat from a hardware store before that alleged attack. They were arrested last week, but were released without any charges. As for a motive behind all of this, there were reports that Smollett was concerned about being written off the show Empire, but Fox maintains those reports are false. Now, we've also learned tonight from L.A. County officials that the actor pleaded no contest to some misdemeanor charges of giving false information to police back in 2007. It was during a DUI stop. Investigators say they stopped him and he gave them a fake name.
Wow. This is the character of most black people, folks. Watch how they're going to come out and still try to defend him. It's the lack of love, the lack of family, the lack of God in their life. Blacks don't believe in God. They do not. I don't care how hallelujah, whatever they say. Here's the soundbite where I said back in January, when this first broke, I didn't believe this radical black homosexual social justice warrior. Here's that.
He's supposed to be well-known requesting a report. Instead, the noose was placed over the friend's neck.
He was in Chicago getting a late-night snack when police said he was approached by two unknown offenders whose faces were covered.
Remember, folks, unless you see actual proof of this, unless you see the white man doing this, don't believe it. Just don't believe. I don't believe it. Amazing. And they are messing with the minds of the young blacks as well as whites, convincing them that white people are bad. And they don't even know if it was a white man or white men or not. There's no proof that it even happened. Meaning that whether white men or black men, Chicago is controlled by black people in the hood who are out of control. That was back in January when this first broke, folks. I may not know my flowers, but I know black people. And today's black people, prior to the Civil Rights Movement, they believed in God, but today's black people do not. Most of them, I don't care if they go to church or wherever, they don't believe in God. Look at their lifestyle. Look how they live. Look at their hatred. There's no love in the black community for anyone, not even for other blacks, not even for their own family members, because they won't be honest with one another. And so we got, only God can change the heart, and only God decides whose heart he will change. And that's amazing to me, because I know there are a lot of other people who want to change. My concern is young so-called people of color, and then all these illegal aliens are coming in here. Unless we really get serious and change the hearts and minds, meaning point the right way, it's going to get worse for our country. I have hope, but it's going to get worse if we allow these people like Jussie Smollett and others, Kamala Harris and others, to get involved or run or make decisions for our country. The white people, I've been telling you for years, you are hated for no reason at all, zero reason, except that you won't speak up. And now your young generation of white males are becoming fed up. That's what I'm telling them, to drop the anger. Stand up, speak up, but don't be angry. Anger makes you do things that you wish you had not done later.